Hello, potential viewers. Welcome to my channel. So, call me Mr. Late again, but I just watched Captain Marvel the other day, and in light of rumors started circling again that she might become the next generation leader of the Avengers, and that the actress Brie Larson may have more say in the production of the Captain Marvel sequel. I thought it would be a good idea to make a video talking about it and about the trends that I'm seeing from the reporting and discussion I saw from different creators who are more in tune with the news in the comic world and MCU than I am. And to start the video off, let me share my quick thoughts on the movie of Captain Marvel itself and how it feels in the current MCU movie timeline. It is definitely better than some other female led action/fantasy movies with very obvious woke elements. And yet, woke elements are still very much present, though maintained at a relatively tolerable level. In many ways, its political agenda is displayed in a much more subtle way than that some of movies whose directors claim there would be subtle hidden messages. The actions are okay when it comes to a Marvel movie. A lot of people who watched it said that the actions and makeup looked like the movie is more of a production of Marvel movies Phase 1 and not a production that is just before the finale of Phase 3. That I would agree. For a lot of the scenes, the actions just do not feel as exciting, and the usage of Captain Marvel's powers in battle just does not feel very organic, signifying the lack of good action choreography and design. The woke elements in the movie were visible, but on generally a tolerable level. You will see those classical male douchebag characters and the stereotypical behavior of toxic masculinity, but it did not occupy the presentation as much and was rarely overwhelming the plot. The main issue for me with the movie, though, is that it's not with the slightly annoying woke elements or the relatively lackluster action, but it is, even though being a movie, a product of the entertainment industry of the 21st century, and specifically in the year 2019, it has remnants of super old features and tropes where I, even as a casual moviegoer, have grown to notice and stopped appreciating. The main trope that I notice is what I call the I work too hard trope. I have used this analogy in my video about Charlie's Angels. This is similar to the case where a person said their biggest weakness is they work too hard on their resume. And when it comes to action/fantasy movies and TV, this trope is manifested in the main character, typically the macho male types, where they are admired and even worshipped by everyone around them, and even random new people they meet. The only flaw in them are that they might be too sleazy with women, or have an irresponsible spending habit, or just being an occasional douchebag. These are the flaws that are so trivial as compared to the supposed awesomeness of the main character that they are a lot of the times nothing more than a screen representation of humble brags. They are too sleazy with women? How can you blame him? He is so handsome and manly. He has irresponsible spending habit? What can you do? He's so awesome and he earns a shit ton. He is sometimes an asshole, but he can't help it because he is right all the time. This is what, for a lack of better word, a Supergirl character is like. These kind of characters did work, and still can work to some extent nowadays, but they are mostly context and tone dependent, meaning that they have to live in their cheesy movies and TVs within their specific tone and settings where tropes like these are not only tolerated but celebrated because it is what audiences are expecting, and suspension of disbelief is kind of required for enjoyment. But where it does not work is in the context of more complex franchises where nuanced ideas and scenarios have already happened in the timeline, and side characters have been presented with higher level of intelligence and autonomy and will not just blindly submit to the awesomeness of the main character. And for the MCU and Captain Marvel, such kind of Supergirl or Supergirl character is kind of a sketchy strategy. And when it is wedged between the two-part finale of the first big arc of the MCU, it is even less smart. So let me break that down a bit. I will not go over the plot too much, but there will be some spoilers, so spoiler alert. At the start of the movie, Kree rookie warrior named Veers, played by Brie Larson, joined her first battle against a group of Skrull terrorists, and throughout the pursuit, she found her way to Earth, where she met a bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, including the young Nick Fury, told them about the potential invasion of Skrulls, and collaborated with them to hunt the Skrulls down, and eventually found the lost lab of a Kree scientist named Marvel. She also learned that the Skrulls are not the terrorists she was taught to believe, and that the Krees were actually the real bad guys, and took her away from Earth and brainwashed her as part of the Kree force because she was merged with the energy core of the Lightspeed engine. Then she overcame her fear and self-doubt, then unleashed her full potential and drove the Skrulls away. The immediate Supergirl moment I noticed is during the training session with her commander. She could defeat her commander, who is also her trainer, quite easily. Her commander could not beat her without resorting to some cheap tricks. This then led to the notion, and apparently one of the main talking points of the movie, where she needs to control her emotions. But it was never justified, as she was always portrayed as an extremely capable fighter, and her supposed emotional weakness was never exploited. It only made her less awesome than the final stage of transformation. And then the other ongoing Supergirl moments are that Captain Marvel immediately becomes pals with Nick Fury and somehow an authoritative source of intergalactic knowledge for S.H.I.E.L.D. You'd think that as an agency who recently gained knowledge of the existence of intergalactic forces, they would take more precautions and try to verify more information before trusting some random alien soldier who can shoot laser out of her hand. Also, per my least favorite scene of the movie.
Prove you're not a Skrull.
First of all, that does not tell anyone anything besides that she can shoot energy bolt out of her hands. Nick Fury will have no reason to believe that she is not a Skrull, because she barely understands anything about the Skrulls other than they can shapeshift. But somehow, Nick Fury just ended up buying it, because I guess for no reason other than that she is awesome. And the most annoying Supergirl moments from the movie is that everything is somehow just because she is awesome for Captain Marvel, and she had no visible trouble or struggle at all. Just like the scenes I just showed you. Why would shooting energy beams to destroy an innocent jukebox a proof that you are not a Skrull? No reason, just because she is awesome. Why would she, as a rookie, can easily bring down several of the best Skrull soldiers and taking almost no damage, even when she had her hands bind? No reason, just because she is awesome. And how is she able to fight her way through the mind control power of the Kree ultimate intelligence with no apparent emotional evolution? There is no emotional evolution because she is just awesome. This particular issue with the movie clearly had the effect of selling Captain Marvel short. She was said to be the most powerful superhero in the MCU, and her appearance from the Endgame pretty clearly showed that, as she could go toe-to-toe with a fully Infinity Stone-charged Thanos. But the power did not feel earned, in the sense that she just has the power by accident, and as the audience we did not see any of the evolution that turned her into the hero that she was later portrayed. Even her supposed weakness of emotion did not have any resolution and felt purposeless besides giving the reference to some feminist talking point. And thus all the most powerful superhero setting in this case, especially in the MCU, where more complicated rules of the world and more nuanced themes were displayed, felt really like a cop-out for me for Marvel to insert a strong female hero like Wonder Woman. But powerful superpower by writers' design does not in any way equal a powerful character, or should I say more concretely, a character that possesses great physical and mental power. So she can shoot powerful energy beams from her hand. So what? Even if she can blow up the whole planet with just one hand or get rid of Thanos with a snap of a finger, it is still not a powerful character in any way. How do you face off against your fears? How do you resolve your inner conflict? How do you handle scenarios and moral dilemmas where you just simply cannot punch your way out? These are what measures as a powerful, complicated, and deep character. Think about Wonder Woman. She is not strong just because she is the God Killer and an Amazonian. She is strong also because she can rise above the grief of watching the whole town she just saved and dined with murdered by poisonous gas. She is strong also because she can get hit with the horrible realization that the urge of war and evil doing is within human nature itself. It is an evil she cannot just cut down with her sword or bind with her lasso, and yet she still kept on fighting to stop Ares. all-powerful Mary Sues have very limited popularity for a reason. And these complaints I have with the movies leads to my worries about having Captain Marvel as the new leader of the new Avengers team. It is that Captain Marvel does not feel like a leader from her standalone movie, not to mention her appearance in Endgame with extremely limited screen time. In comic books, movies and TVs, and generally all products of pop culture, leaders tend to have some typical qualities. And in a lot of cases, leaders are actually not the most physically powerful one in the group, but one that is usually the one possessing the most of these qualities. Such qualities include strong moral compass, ability and willingness to relate to team members, and the humility to receive feedback to grow and learn. And these qualities were not clearly shown to take root in the character of Captain Marvel. And to be fair, in my honest opinion, a similar issue was also present when, to a lesser extent, when Captain America assumed the leader role in the first Avengers movie, since even though the first Captain America movie did establish Cap to be brave and willing to sacrifice for a cause, it did not show much of his leadership qualities. And only in Captain America 2 Winter Soldier did his leadership qualities, especially that his abilities and willingness to empathize with his team, stand out. And if you ask me, who should be the leader of the new Avengers, now that the three heads of the old Avengers are either dead or retired, I would say that I don't know. Spider-Man is still way too young and naive. Doctor Strange has the wizards to lead, so there's little chance of dual leadership. Ant-Man is more of a side character. So if the writers are so willing, maybe revive Vision? Although seeing that Vision was in support of that bullshit United Nations Accord on superheroes, I am not thrilled about it. That will be all for my video today. If you have any thoughts on my take, feel free to leave a comment below. Hope to see you next time.